Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another interview. Today I'm here at the Shepshed ABC Club with Louis Norman. Louis, first of all, how are we doing, mate?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I know this has been quite a long overdue interview, to be completely honest. I've just been too much of a pussy to come up to you, realistically. And, we're here now, and so we'll start just on your fight coming up. You've got Marley Mason as an opponent, September 2nd, I believe. And first of all, how's all the preparations been? It's been quite a long camp for you this time.
Yeah, I think since I've gone on the journeyman route as such, you're constantly in training all the while, so it's you're never out of shape. You know, you're always in shape. You're not really in training camp either. So preparation's always the same for me. You got to think I've been pro 11 years now. So now it's took me 10 years to realise, 11 years to realise how good I actually am and what I've actually got to do. So camp's no different to any other camp. I'm sparring a bit more of a young prospect called Muhammad Ali, which is setting me up for good stead, which means I think I'm going to be going for the win my next fight. So.
Good to hear. And so am I right in saying that this is now your kind of like proper job, boxing is now, and how kind of big of an achievement for yourself is to now call yourself just a professional boxer as your main job?
When I was 18 to 22, I did it full time. I didn't have no responsibilities as such. Now I've got a wife, a daughter, a mortgage and everything else like that. Obviously got to do what you've got to do. So obviously I was working, but then I made the decision, because I am boxing so often, to not work, basically. I've had to work my whole life to get to this point. When people ask me about it, I've had to risk a lot of childhood. I've not had any lads holidays like a lot of them do when you're 18, so I've had to risk quite a lot through my life and sacrifice quite a lot to get where I am now. So I think when they say hard work pays off, yeah, it kind of does, because I'm at the stage now where I'm actually living my dream. So yeah, it's worth it, you know what I mean?
Most definitely. And just maybe a bit more of a deep question now. Just like when you were at that point where you were fighting and winning English titles and stuff like that, is it now reality? Was there a little kind of switch in your mind and maybe a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow when you had to realise that you were not really going to be that champion, but then going to have to go down this other route to then get your money?
Yeah, I think for me, when I'll be completely honest, I didn't make a lot of money when I was champion. Boxing, unfortunately, it's on his arse a little bit. Unless you want anti-Joshua, them big names, you ain't making the money. I'm not a big ticket seller. Used to be, but unfortunately things happen. But for me, it's kind of, it was hard when you have to go to work, but it's life. You know what I mean? I've realised when I did retire, we've got more to life than boxing. That's not me saying to any young prospect, oh, you can't box. Yeah, of course you can. But for me, if your face don't fit, you don't get the big pays. So it is a bit of pill to swallow, yeah, it is a little bit, but at the same time, no, it's reality. I'm happy now, you know what I mean? It's been a long road to kind of get where I have got now, but you live and you learn. That's what it's about, so yeah.
Most definitely. And you spoke about how for this upcoming fight you're kind of going to probably give it a go and want to come for the win this time, but of course maybe it's not always the option that you get when you're fighting on the road, and it can be difficult. But what is that kind of thing as to why you don't sometimes give it that extra little bit? Is it just the money side of things?
Well, I think when obviously I made the decision to go on the road, that's because it's not that I ain't got it. You've seen me in the gym, you know what I mean? I've got bags of talent. I could be world champion. You got people like Ebony Bridges, Dave Colwell. When they see me sparring, I said, well, why are you doing this? For me, I've not got it in me deep enough, because boxing's horrible. Boxing's a hard sport to do. If you've not got it 100% there in you to do it, don't do it. For me, it's kind of the money aspect. I'm making more money now doing what I'm doing than I was when I was champion. And it's hard work now. It is a lot harder work. And the fact is, I wanted to get used to being a journeyman as such. So, yes, I had to lose on purpose, because somewhat I could have probably won. But now I've realised I've done before on the road. I just think, right, you know what, let's just do what I do. If I get in there and I think, right, this lad's really good, I'll back off a little bit, and then I'll just box and move. If I get in there and think, no, I'll give it a go. I'm good enough to be world champion with the right opportunities. But unfortunately, like I say, my face don't fit. So the only opportunities I'm getting is fighting the big boys on the big stage, which now it's a bit different, because my mentality is now I'll beat anyone anyway. And I'm that confident. It took me 10 years mentally to realise how good I actually am. So yeah.
Most definitely. And there was a fight which was not too fast in the future for you, back in the past for you, and that was the Frac Alley fight, and it was a very close fight that was. And I know that being in the away corner means you're not going to have the judges on your side. Was it a little bit frustrating to not get the victory for that one?
Yes and no. No disrespect to Frac Alley, unbelievable lad, a very nice lad. I still feel like I should have won it, and that's with me not trying. Ebony Bridges said that it's scary that you actually tried not to win, and that's the scary thing. That's how good I actually am. When obviously I dropped Frac Alley, I probably should have gone for it a bit more, but the God's honest truth, I couldn't. You know what I mean? I gave a bit too much fitness-wise. It weren't fully there. But even then, I still thought I won. But it's boxing. I know how boxing works. So I've done it where I've worked my arse off in the ring. When I fought Don Broilers the second time at Birmingham, I should have won that. You know what I mean? For me, I only lost 2 rounds, but I lost by a split decision. It's boxing, it's politics, it's how it works. I know that now. You know what I mean? So winning or losing for me don't make no difference.
Of course, and you do often see with kind of journeyman fighters, they don't even have a coach or a cornerman in there. But how nice is it to always know that you've got your dad in the corner to support you and get you through all these fights?
Yeah, well, I think for me, it's kind of, obviously my dad's always been in my corner. Someone who's my biggest critic as well. It's not always the best of things, but having your dad in the corner. And I've got my other coach, John Joe. I can work with any coach. I kind of do what I want to do anyway. But it's frustrating because I'm not a journeyman as such. Like, no disrespect to the journeyman because they're unbelievable out there, but some journeyman ain't got a choice. Some of them are having to be a journeyman because they've not got the ability or whatever. I'm unbelievable. And I could still do championship fights, but I've chose this road to do the journeyman. Don't get me wrong, I might go into a title fight and it might not be there. I understand that. So yeah, it's kind of just like I say, it does help having someone in your corner permanent, but I know there is gonna have occasions where my dad or John Joe can't make it, so I'm gonna have to have someone in the corner. But my experience enough to change it myself. So yeah, it does help.
Of course, and now you've mentioned you're training now with David Caldwell, Muhammad Ali, seeing Ebony Bridges, and what has it been like? And I suppose when you are sparring, is it more freedom, I suppose, in the ring than possibly when you are fighting a normal fight?
Yeah, I think when you're doing that sort of sparring, it's hard sparring. I've done a lot of sparring with prospects, champions in the past. I suppose that's why I'm so good as I am now. You're in sparring with some lads where you're getting batterings. I say to standard lads now, I've used to come out of the ring crying as a kid, not now, but as a kid, come out crying. My dad said, no, you get back in there, because that's the only way you get better. And I've gone and learned the trade from different coaches, John Pegg, Grant Smith, all these sort of people you learn from. Like I said, I'm sparring with Muhammad Ali at the minute, where he's a young, hungry prospect. Who's coming for the top, and I do believe he will go to the top. With someone like the experience of Dave Caldwell, when they're giving you advice, you take it in. That's not me saying I don't take the advice of anyone. With that sort of sparring, you need to be switched on. It's not just like being down the amateur gym, just having a bit of a move around. You have got to be switched on, or you're getting hurt, because they're preparing for a fight, they're preparing for war, and it's a completely different game, the pro game. So yeah, it does benefit you sparring them sort of people.
Of course, and I can tell from the way you're speaking, you clearly know a lot about the sport and understand it very well. And of course, you're now a coach as well in your own right. And what was that kind of reason and that motivation for you to go down that coaching route as well?
I've got so much knowledge. I've boxed my whole life. It's not just been overnight. You know what I mean? My dad was a professional, fought Prince Nassim Mohammed, Mickey Cantwell, Frank Sanford. So when it's in your blood, you've got to kind of do it as such. I never got forced to do it, but I spent so many times in the gym with different coaches, been to different gyms. So I've gone around the whole country learning the trade. So why not pass it on? I don't know. I'll probably be a better coach, to be fair, because a coach is always right. And no, I'm not saying you can't disagree with a coach, but they know best. I only learn that now. You know what I mean? I still tell my dad to shut up sometimes, but. You live and you learn, you know what I mean? You pass it on, you're there to pass it on. So the plan is to get my coaching licence in the next couple of months, do the boxing and coaching. Because you've got some few good lads from the gym. You've got Lee Hamilton, you've got Owen Neeson. My brother's obviously, I'm always passing knowledge on to my brother. Does he listen? I don't know. But I'd just like to think I can pass any knowledge in, because I want people to stay safe, you know what I mean? It's boxing, like I say, you can get seriously hurt, so I want to help as much as I can.
Brilliant. And got one more kind of deep question, then a couple just funnish questions. So then this last kind of final deep question is, how would you like to be remembered in boxing?
Remembered, the man who fought anyone and everyone, which I've done anyway. You know what I mean? But someone who's, I don't know. For me now, I wear pink. I walk to love. I just like to have fun, and if I want to show anything and pass anything on, I want it to be. Well, boxing ain't all serious. You know what I mean? Boxing's so short-lived. A bloke called Steffi Ball told me that. Boxing flashes before your eyes, and before you know it, I'm 30 now, nearly, and I turned pro at 18, so now it's kind of different. And when you look at it, you think, right, what have I done? But I want to be remembered for being entertaining, fought anyone, had the skill, and I suppose I'm going to be known as the one what should have probably won a British title but didn't, unfortunately. But you live and you learn, and hopefully I can pass it on to somebody else who can do better than me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Of course, and so now just a couple of fun questions I've got. Of course, you mentioned your brother; he's a boxer as well. Theoretically, in the ring, who's winning out of you two?
Me, 100%. I think that's no disrespect to brother. He's unbelievable. I feel like there's stuff he can do better. Everyone can do better, but he's the boxer because of me. No, that's no disrespect to Dad, but at school holidays used to be we'll come round here, and I used to batter him for 10 rounds, and that's why now I suppose he's so tough. But no, if it was a fight, no, definitely me, 100%.
Sort of answer, and I mean, you've seen me come down there, do a little bit of pad work and a little bit on the bag, and what's your ratings on me? Do you think I could ever make it onto the Misfits cards? You see if I build my platform up a little bit?
You can go on the Misfits cards if I'm being your coach for a percentage. I'm happy with that. No, you've got it there. You know what I mean? A long way to go, but you've actually got it there. I'm not just saying it because the camera's there as well. I tell you a few shit, but no, you've got it there. You have got it there.
And leave this final question. You want to shout anything out? Your sponsors, fans, anything?
So I have to get my phone out because I don't want to forget any sponsors. The sponsors are obviously help massively. You know what I mean? Travel expenses, obviously sparring, I have to go Rotherham quite a lot. Obviously I don't drive. Your equipment, your nutrition, everything. So my sponsors, we've got Joe's Uppercut, which is obviously my mum. Perfect hairdresser in Shepshed. You've got Effin Sitter, Eat, Sleep and Live, AGCS, roofing, Premier, Prestige, flooring and carpets. Effin Sitter. Then we've got Vogue Group, B&B Property Services, Saving Energy, Primo IT, Tonic and Falcon, and Apollo Landscape, sorry. Like I say, all the sponsors are absolutely incredible. And if you've got any sponsors out there what do want to jump on board, they've always got opportunities. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lou.